Hi everyone. Hello to everyone viewing and to the panelists. Thank you to Deep Tech for having us. So yeah, as you just heard, I'm Joel pitching on behalf of, pitching for ANEW Energy. And in the Q&A, I'll have Chris, my colleague, who will be supporting as well. So get straight into it. ANEW Energy. We're a Delaware C corporation that's a single point product solution, predominantly within the renewable energy sector. We aim to be a transparent company that are looking at a new way of thinking with open source ideas and outputting these solutions with high efficiency to global communities, with the aim to resolve the many issues that we as humanity face, like sustaining our home, essentially. Next slide, please. So with hundreds of years of combined experience in various fields from military support and engineering, sales, marketing, a broad range, with a collaboration of those that are from veteran military to interns. We have a combined collaboration with 2 years of life of the company so far, headed by our CEO, Pat Canaro, an engineer with a strong focus on humanitarian development. And this team is a growing team with the same mentality and focus where we form what you see today. Next slide, please. So obviously we're all here having this discussion about renewable energy and the problems that we have. So we all know the issues and challenges that we're facing. To highlight a few, some of them being the climate crisis that we're facing. For example, the flooding that's happening in Bangladesh as we speak, and trying to change for all those to other aspects where we have fuel shortages. For example, in Lebanon, where they're having that issue of what they're going to do when they run out of fuel right now. And then there's other aspects where they're not really talked about, but there are big issues that we do need to look at, which we're damaging wildlife or the nature around us and elements of that respect. So with regards to that as well, we're also looking at the utility sector. That's another problem. There's a few pain points in there as well. It's all a hot topic, if you pardon the pun. And much like Siemens' philosophy and approach, we at ANEW plan to challenge all of these issues head on and resolve these pain points for a smoother transition into a new future of energy tech, which allows a global accessibility and infrastructure for all. Next slide, please. So just to highlight some of the things that we do and to kind of touch on a parable or a quote that we all knew in the past and I feel needs to come back, is we give a person a fish, we feed them for a day. And that's the products that we are offering on the market at the moment. And we've actually pioneered a suite of high outputting off the grid microscale system solutions and products that won't damage or require major modifications to either nature, wildlife, or the current human infrastructure and development, while enhancing and supporting grid networks and community-led energy infrastructure plans. So just to highlight some of the that we do have, obviously here you can see the wind turbine. And one additional thing to note that isn't on there is that it can be taken apart down, we can pull the wings out and it can actually withstand hurricanes as well. So there's a lot of features that we can go into obviously and more. Next slide, please. Another option is the hydrogen generator, obviously, sorry, the hydro generator, not hydrogen. And the key factor here is it plugs straight into any of our pipe work. And it's a great response because obviously rainfall on every rooftop falls into every gutter, straight into power. Next slide, please. And then we have our solar tracker, which we're working very hard on to improvise as a dual panel facing aspect, so we can get more out of it with the reflective surface underneath and just trying to sector in the market to make it so it's portable as well. Next slide, please. Yeah. So we do have more products under our belt, from water generation, looking at on-demand hydrogen as well, and obviously energy storage and how it all collaborates, because one of the key areas, as I said, is connecting into the utilities market, for example. So on solar farms, how we can integrate into that and enhance that sector. Right. Next slide, please. So the next section of the parable, obviously, is to teach them to fish and feed them for life. And that's where another niche element of our company comes in, which is our EConnect application. So with this accompanying mobile application, we aim to educate customers and workers of all backgrounds, especially those transitioning from former areas such as oil refinery and coal, to understand the products and any other aspects so that they can help to integrate these systems, essentially building what we like to call a new workforce. You're going to hear a new a lot. It's a beautiful tagline. And then next slide, please. And then another element that we like to add on is give them the tools and the means to share this skill, and they can feed their community forever. And that's where we kind of bring everything in. So we encompass it all with a quality controlled factory, which we will plan to replicate globally within interested countries to carry out their own progression of our catalog of products, accompanied by a transparent, open source company approach to allow us all to share in a new way of thinking, allowing us to energize our future together. Next slide, please.
I think we're at time, Joel. So we'll just queue it up for you. Want to just a last 10-second leave us with your last message?
Yeah, no problem. So if I take us on to our journey, at the moment we have a cash infusion of 12.5 million, which is a convertible note, which we do plan to, obviously to pay back at the end of the line. And we're currently using that to help build what we'd like to, a wind turbine to help, well, a wind tunnel to allow us to do some rigorous testing on various elements of our product to start get quality assurance for a 50-year life cycle on our products. And we're also injecting that into some intensive marketing. The area that we're looking at now is the next stage, which is building the first factory that we want to work from and building sample products to start doing light production and having a look in different sectors. For example, conservation sites, and seeing how we integrate very well, and then portraying those case studies. Next slide, please. Now, what we're actually asking for, don't worry, we're not asking for one person to give us 38 million. We're asking for a combined sum of 38 million of essentially convertible notes. And more so alongside that is we're actually looking for key networks and partnerships, because as we said, it's about collaboration. We're all in this to figure it out. So we want to be an open company that introduces new ideas and implements them as best we can.
Thank you very much.
Last slide. Yeah, sorry, just the last slide. So thank you all for your time. And this is just to showcase some of the companies that we're actually connected with at the moment. Gleeds, which is looking at helping us with the factory. P4P Energy, which are actually looking at solar over cover. Gyrene, looking at the water generation and various elements. Yeah, open to questions.
I have a quick question. This is Diana Grauer with Technip FMC. You've raised 12.5 million and you're going to spend it on marketing and a wind tunnel.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't clear. It's not just a wind tunnel. We're looking at integrating it into tooling as well and building up elements so we can start building the products and do some vigorous testing, not just on the wind turbine, but the other products as well.
But the other products. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any last questions for Joel before we move on to the last pitching company of the session?
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your financials right now? You said that you've raised 12.5, but what is the operating model for the company? And tell us a little bit more about your financials.
Yeah, if I can call on, I think Chris should be on the call.
I can go ahead and go into that. So we are currently in pre-seed, and that 12.5 million just came in, and like we said before, that's going into more rigorous testing. And as far as like the offering goes, so the 38 million is a max on the pre-seed investment. So we're looking to get up to that, and that just kind of brings up that testing. It brings up tooling. It brings up like who we're going to hire, and then it also brings up the marketing budget. So that's the max for phase one, and then that'll end in 2022. And then when we get into that, we're in talks with the government right now to raise 250 million to build our first our own factory and stop outsourcing the building of our products.